Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with our weekly Minks Monday Q&A. So let's get started. But before I begin, I have had quite a few of you asking me if I have lightened my hair. It was very, very much so noticeable in my last video, or my last couple videos. So I thought I would just address it really quick. No, it is not your guys' imagination. My hair did get lighter, but not on purpose. Once upon a time, I had black hair, and I had been wanting to get rid of it for such a long time. And you guys know, if you guys dye your hair, black is one of the hardest colors to get rid of. You pretty much have to strip it out of your hair, and I knew I didn't want to do that, so I decided that I would take it upon myself to lighten my hair, and I thought I would like the color, and the color ended up being like, I wouldn't say bozo red, but kind of a funky colored red that did not suit my skin tone whatsoever. So I decided to dye my hair darker. And I used organic dye myself because this is why. Because the last time I went to the nails or the salon, first of all, I get charged a fortune because my hair is really heavy and it's very long. So that I don't like. Number two, the last time I went, the girl missed a bunch of spots in my head. So I'm like, you know what? Either you can miss them for X amount of dollars, or I can miss them and do it myself. So I opted to do it myself, and yes, I got all the spots. However, the hair dye that I used actually ended up just washing out of my hair throughout the days, because you guys know I wash my hair every day, and this is the end result. It's extremely light. It's probably showing up a little bit darker because I'm in front of the mirror and it's a little bit cloudy, but it's very, it's very much so lighter. So it was by total accident. And I think it's because I had originally lightened it and then I went with the darker, but regardless, I'm going to go darker. I prefer dark hair, but it's been such a long time since I've had light hair that I think I might, I might leave this on for a little bit longer. I don't know. But I will tell you, make sure you go to a professional, because I fried my hair. Remember how I told you guys my hair was being unruly? Well, it's taken a little bit of time, and I'm gonna talk about something later on in this video about my hair. But yeah. So that's the story of my hair. You guys are crazy. It's funny to go back like 3 weeks or maybe even 4 weeks and see my hair just gradually just lighten. I thought it would go away, but it didn't. So that was that. Okay, so let's continue with Minks Monday, shall we? All right, with the very first question, Laura1716. How did you start doing YouTube videos? Like, what made you start? Well, I was at work, and there's two reasons why I decided to start. The first reason is because I was at work, and I was talking to one of my girlfriends about a handbag, and she was not very enthused. She was just like, kind of like halfway's listening and halfway's paying attention to something else. And I kind of, I stepped back, and I'm just kind of, I looked and I said, I didn't say anything to her. In my head, I'm just, she doesn't care. So why am I talking to her about it? So I kind of changed the subject, and that was that. And when I came home, I was kind of just checking out a bag that I was recently thinking about purchasing. And I was checking out the reviews, and the community, the people seemed so enthused that they wanted to do it. And since I've told you guys before, I can pretty much talk to a cardboard box, that I figured I would try it myself. Plus, I wanted to give a little bit of my info on some of the bags that I was either checking out, or some of the bags that people were reviewing. Everyone does reviews differently, and we all bring things to the table, and I just wanted to bring my own knowledge to the table. Maybe there's some things that I remember in specific. There's one bag that I looked at. I checked out the review, and then when I went to the store, I thought to myself, oh, how come they didn't talk about this? And so that kind of sparked the interest. Like, oh, well, maybe they forgot this, and maybe this is something important that someone else needs to know if they're thinking about purchasing the bag or the item or whatever it was. So that's kind of it. It kind of came together, which was really, really weird. But I'm so thankful that I have, because now I have this whole community that I can talk to about handbags, and even though, you know, you guys aren't right in front of me, you know, we're not sitting in my room here, I still feel like I can connect with you guys, and I love that, you know, and it's just, I don't know, it's not the same when you have someone that could really care less what you have to say versus someone that wants to hear what you have to say. So I think it worked out for the best, definitely. Okay, Darth Diva, if you can keep one, would you keep your mono clay or key holder? Don't know which one to get, but don't want to get both. So you said the key clay or the key holder. These two beauties right here. Hands down for me, as much as I love the clay, it will always be this guy right here. Just because I think, as I said before, out of all my luxury goods, I think this will be the last one if I had to sell it to go. But I love it because it's a little mini wallet. It lets me go compact, and it's so essential to how I use it. And I don't want to scratch up any of my bags, and I don't want to do anything like that. So I think this is a great, great investment piece. So this is the one. This is the one that would stay. I know what you mean, though, because they can potentially be used for the same thing because it's a key pouch. It's intended for keys. But in my head, the 6-ring key holder always wins. Okay, Bailey Kinley. I saw that you have the Keep All 55 and the 45 in bandolier. I was curious as to which you prefer most. I have only been able to use my 45 once since I purchased it. And the 55, obviously, I've had for a while, for some time now. And I absolutely love both of them for two different reasons. I like the 55 for longer trips, and the 45 is better for a weekend getaway, so you don't have to pack as much. But as far as, you know, obviously the 45 is a little bit smaller, and it feels a little bit better on your shoulder when you're wearing the bandolier strap, so it's not as heavy. So in that sense, I would go for the 45, but regardless, I love both of them equally, and I use them for two totally different reasons. But the 55 is a great way to go, because if you get the 45 and you're gonna go, you know, on a long trip, you can't really fit as much in there. So I would rather go with a 45, and even if it's a little bit less empty, you know, you have options. So that's always a better deal for me. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's maybe $20 or $30 more for the 55, and in that sense, I do believe that it takes it's a better value. Okay, Vanel Cotlong. Hi, Minnie. What do you think of the new Neverfull in the color Rose Ballerine? Okay, so I am loving the Rose Ballerine. Obviously, if you guys haven't checked it out, it's a very, very light pink. And normally it would kind of deter me because it's such a light color. But I don't know if you guys remember my luggage tag. It's in the Demi Ben chocolate brown, and it has the pink M. I just feel that the combination with the monogram and the Rose Ballerine, and even with the light Vachetta, or once it turns and when it patinas, I think it will look absolutely gorgeous. Chocolate brown and pink just go together, and I think it looks fantastic. So I like it a lot. Okay, Classic Cutie. Hi, Minnie. How do you feel about Twillies on handbags? Well, Twillies they're kind of like little scarves that you could put on your handbags, for those of you that don't know. And a lot of people use them to protect the handles, especially if they have Vachetta, for their speedies or stuff like that. And I'm kind of indifferent about it. I understand the reason why someone would purchase the Twilly for the leather, because they want to try to keep the leather, you know, looking as long as possible. But I think, and this isn't a knock against anyone that does it, I think it's a little busy for me, especially if the bag itself has busy features, like it has too much going on, and then you add a Twilly on top of it. I think it's very distracting. So, I mean, it could go either way, you know what I mean? So I think if protecting the Vachetta and you don't want to use any kind of chemicals, I think that's, you know, it's a fun, different way to do it. But personally, I personally wouldn't use it, and it's just a little too distracting. But when I see them, especially on Instagram, I don't know, I think they look cute, but at the same time, they're just too busy for me. Yes. Okay. Rachel R., what are your thoughts on the reflective Petite Malle? Okay, so the Petite Malle is a very small clutch from Louis Vuitton. It's about this big, and it looks like a little mini trunk, and it currently retails for $5,500 here in the States. And it does have reflective canvas on it, and it's black. So when you see it, especially at night, you can really see the LVs. It almost looks like it's glowing. And you know, I think I'm leaning more towards I like it. It's something very different. I'm not so much of a fan of the reflective canvas. Maybe if it had something different, but at the same time, it's just something so innovative. Like, I don't think anyone has ever thought of that to put on a luxury handbag. And I think it works, especially if you're going to use it for a nighttime clutch, because that's what it's mainly intended for. I think, can you imagine? Oh my goodness, it would capture all the light and it would just look magnificent. So I'm like, if I'm in the middle, I'm leaning more towards definitely liking it because it's different. So I like that. Okay. Sin Carbach, what are your thoughts on the new Delightful? Is this something that you are planning to add to your collection? Okay, so a few Mondays ago, I told you guys that I had been put on a list for the Delightful before it was released, and maybe it's more like 2 months ago. My goodness, it's a long time. And at first I was going to purchase it, and I was all excited about it, but then what happened? Oh, we went on a trip, and I put that money towards the other goodies that I wanted to purchase while we were out. And I still like the Delightful, but it's not something that's taken precedence as far as me getting. I can appreciate it, especially because of the new interior. The pink interior looks fantastic. But so far, I took it off of my list. I called my husband and I said, not to add me to, or I don't want to purchase it. And I have taken myself off the list. So as of right now, I do not have any plans to purchase it. I want something new. I want something, I don't know. I want a new bag that's out there, but not something that's already out there. Does that make any sense? After I got the one that I just got, which, I'm so in love with. I don't know. I want something that's so brand new that it's just, I can't take my mind off it. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Okay. Jill Lewis, why do some bags not show up on the LV website? What is the best way to discover new bags? Well, thank you guys so much for letting me know last week. I had no idea that the Sienna was available here in the U.S. Because every time I went to look at it online, it only showed up on the Australian website. And truth be told, I don't know exactly why that is. Maybe it hits that market first. But the best way to discover new bags is always a good sales associate, because a lot of, really good sales associates will actually text you. They'll call you and say, hey, I just saw the new book. This is what we're getting, and they could put you on the list right away. So it's the best way to get bags quicker and learn more about them. But I hadn't told my sales associate anything about the Dame Ben bag, except for the hobo bag that I told you guys about before. And yeah, so I had no idea. I hadn't been to the boutique to see it, so that's why I apologize for giving you guys false information. But thank you guys out there for letting me know that it was available. Yeah, so a great sales associate, a great relationship with them is the best way to be able to keep informed. Okay. I love LV. What's the story on your tattoos? Okay, so a while back, she actually asked me on Minks Monday about my tattoos, and I never responded, so I apologize. But it was a total coincidence. She thought that she had hurt my they thought that they had hurt my feelings because I was covering my tattoos, but that's not the case. It was a total coincidence. But okay, so I have a total of 4 tattoos, and one of them is very near and dear to my heart. Or there's a few of them that are near and dear to my heart. Actually, all of them are. For different reasons. And this one, which you guys see the most, is my fleur-de-lis. And even though it's not done because that's usually what happens with people with tattoos, right? They're never done. But I'm going to get a banner, and down below it's going to say "C'est la vie," since you guys know that's my favorite saying. I will get into this once it's done, because it has to all tie in together. And this one here says royalty. And it has a crown and another fleur-de-lis. As you guys know, I like fleur-de-lis. And the reason is, before I get the eye rolling, it's not that I think, I should be treated like royalty. That's not what that means. What I mean by royalty, and the reason why I got it tattooed, is because I feel that we should treat ourselves as such, in the sense that we are worth it. We should treat each other, we should treat ourselves with respect if we want someone else to give us respect. And we deserve anything that we put our minds to. And this isn't in reference to handbags. This is just in reference to everyday life. Don't let anyone ever think you're less than worth, getting anything or doing anything, because it's all in your mind. It's all in how you perceive it and how bad you want it. Does that make any sense? So that's why I put this on here. It's kind of a reminder that, I'm worth it. I'm worth it for anything that I decide to do. And, it's just one of those things. I'm in a state where I'm a very positive person. And, I just feel that, don't ever let anyone tell you differently, that you're not good enough to do this, you're not worth doing that, or you're not worth it for someone to be with. That's not the way that it works. Always know your worth. And yeah, so that's kind of in reference to why I got it. I know some people have seen it before and they're like, "Oh, you think you're royalty?" I'm like, no, it's an interpretation of what I think it is, but that's besides the point. I also have a giant crown on the back on my back. It's not giant, but it's about this big. And it's just a very old-fashioned crown. And all my tattoos are black and white. I opted for no color. Just because I just like the way that they look on my skin tone. And on that crown, it has a banner underneath, and it says "Nasquiem vacus Deus," which translates to "I'm nothing without God." So it's always on my back. It's kind of like he's watching over me, and I'm nothing without him. And then I have another tattoo that is, it was my first tattoo. It's actually a skull that I got. But I like it because I didn't want to go with something that everyone always had. Everyone always had little hearts and stuff like that. And I just feel that I'm such a different person. I'm a whole different breed that I decided to get that. So that's a little backstory on him. I didn't want to go too much into depth, but yeah. So that is my tattoo. Those are my tattoos. That is my tattoos. I can't even speak proper English. Okay. Rosie Nunez. I'm debating between the favorite and the pochette accessoire. I'm a t-shirt and jeans type of mom, and I need a bag for a wedding, but also want to use it on a daily basis. I bought the crossbody strap for the pochette in case I decide to purchase it. The magnetic flap really bugs me on the favorite. What's a girl to do? Okay, so you guys know that recently I had thought about getting the favorite, and number one, I didn't like the way that the flap ended on me. It was a little too short, and it ended up hitting my chest. And another thing is, on the back of the favorite, it looks like it's unfinished. It looks like the pocket inside has a I wish I had some way to show you guys. But the pocket inside has stitching on the outside of the canvas that you can see, and it just looks unfinished. It looks kind of weird. Even though I'm a huge fan of the favorite, I think it is very pleasing to my eye when I see it. I absolutely love it. That just bugs me about that. And if the magnetic flap bugs you about it, then I would opt for you not to purchase it, because you're constantly going to be messing with it. You're going to be thinking about it. I think the pochette accessoire is a great way to go. It has a great price point, and it's very low key. And here's just my Demi Ben one just to show you guys. And if you were to get this, if you were to get the longer strap, obviously the longer strap is longer than the favorite. So if that's important, that's another thing to know. It's a little bit longer than the favorite strap is. But I just really like it. It's very low key. You can dress it up, you can dress it down, and it's not very. I don't remember what print you said that you wanted to look at, but it's not just. It doesn't scream, you know, Louis Vuitton, and it doesn't have a whole lot of hardware. It's just very low maintenance, very low key, and it's a great item because it actually fits a ton. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. Those were just my thoughts on the favorite. I still think it's a beautiful bag, but I think the Pochette Accessoire is just more low maintenance. So, if that's something that's important to you. Hopefully I was able to give you a little bit of help on that one. Okay, Colette Kaspari. What, in your opinion, is the best brand in general? Ooh, well, what's the best brand? I think they're all great for different reasons. Hermes is obviously the ultimate, you know, brand that you can get as far as handbags go. Once you've gotten a Birkin, they say that you've made it. And Chanel, I mean, I don't know. I like Hermes. I don't like their customer service. Chanel, I love their looks. They're very similar still in the sense that they're mostly all quilted or all chevron. But I don't like the fact that, I don't know, the price increases aren't always the best, because they're usually about $500, you know, every 6 months for the handbags. And for Louis Vuitton, you know, yes, they go up in price twice a year, and yes, they've had problems with their, you know, with their leather, with their canvas and stuff like that. But there's just something about Louis Vuitton. There's just something about the experience. I don't know if it's because it was my first love, so maybe I'm a little bit biased towards that. But I don't know. I'd have to say they're all great in their own reasons. I think Chanel is great for the after fact, like the packaging looks fantastic and you feel so excited to open it up. And Louis Vuitton is more so the experience in the store. So I can't say I like any one more than the other. I think they are all absolutely fabulous when it comes to the three major fashion powerhouses. So yeah. Okay, Joanne, how do you feel about the Palace? I'm thinking about Rose Lychee, or the Palace. I like the bag. It has a crossbody strap, so that kind of, I don't like that about it. It's a very simple design. It has quite a few pockets inside, and it has the microfiber lining, so it has a lot of great features to it. Rose Lychee wouldn't be a color that I would prefer with the monogram. I would prefer the Aurore or the Dune or even the Rose Ballerine, because I like the combination that the colors make with the monogram. But Rose Lychee is still a beautiful color, so all it matters is if you like it. And if that's the one that you're leaning towards, I say go for it, because if you go with something else that someone says, you might not like it as much. So go for it. Okay. Saint Tropez for me. Have you or would you do sponsored videos? How do you feel about it? This is a great question. I have, obviously, you guys know that there's a lot of YouTubers out there that do sponsored videos. And I have had quite a few companies reach out to me and say, hey, we'll send you this product if you say you like it, and this and that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not one of those gals. They've said, oh, you have to say how good it is. And I'm not going to come on here and lie to you guys. Why? I mean, I would never do that. I'm very, very real. I'm very honest. And if I don't like something, I'm not going to endorse it. I'm not going to promote it. There is one company, however, that reached out to me for hair care. And it was, this is what I was telling you guys earlier. This is when I was in my whole muck of hair that was going on. And they reached out to me and they said, hey, we'd love to send you some product. Try it out. If you like it, let us know. If not, no big deal. And I like that. I like the fact that I didn't have to go on here and say I have to make a video especially for, for this, that, or the other. I'm not going to do that. But if I do come across a product that I absolutely love, I will definitely come on here and let you guys know. And depending upon how I feel about it, I might even do a sole video for it, but not for the intention of getting money from the company or stuff like that. That's not the way that I work, especially because we're here to talk about mostly, you know, luxury goods. So yeah, that's not my cup of tea. But like I want to tell you guys, the company that reached out to me is a hair care product, or is a shampoo and conditioner hair company. That's what I was trying to say. And I do really like the silkiness that my hair has gotten. So I'm still trying it out, and we'll see what happens. But yeah. I even had one company say, we'll pay you this, you know, X amount of dollars to do this. And I know a lot of YouTubers make their money that way, but that's just not for me. Sorry. Unless Louis Vuitton or Chanel is going to send me a bag. I mean, what can I say? That's just me. Can you imagine? How crazy would that be? Okay. In love with love. If you could get something from another country that you don't buy in yours, what would it be? Well, there's quite a few items, but off the top of my head, I want to try candy. I want to try candy from any corner of the world. Obviously there's some stores that we can get things here, but I just want to try the stuff that I've never heard of. I have a major sweet tooth, so I think that would be really fun. That would be really fun. So, yeah, I'd have to say candy. I want to try every kind of candy from any kind of country. So, oh, that kind of sounded kind of cool. Okay, Cynthia Chester. In reference to the LV agenda for home use, as I work from home, what size would you recommend? The large, as the medium looked too small. My second question was, for the agenda, what LV print would you pick? I want something that looks ladylike. If you could only pick one agenda, would it be the large size, and in what print? For home use, yes, I think the large is a great, the GM agenda is a great way to go for work, because you're able to fit a lot more in here. Obviously, you have bigger pockets, and I just think it works a lot better. And what LV print would you pick? I'd have to say probably the monogram. This is obviously, I mean, pretty much any print can go with anything, but I think the monogram looks really, really good in SLGs, so I would have to go with a monogram. And if you could only pick one agenda, would it be the large size and what print? It would be the monogram GM agenda, definitely. Okay, Glen Lane, I'm sorry. 2 questions. Would you pick a Demi-Ebene Speedy 30 if you already have a Neverfull Demi-Ebene? Do you think it's silly to have the same print? Not at all. You know, I actually, I have multiples of the same item because it's a totally different bag. I don't care if they look the same. You use them for different purposes. The Demi-Ebene is perfect for when it's raining, or, you know, if you have unpredictable weather and stuff like that. And the Vachetta is great for, you know, any other kind of season, but no. Or I'm sorry, the Neverfull. The Neverfull and the Speedy. I have both in Demi-Ebene. One's in 35, and obviously I have the Neverfull in the MM, and they're totally different. Totally different. So go for it. And number 2, do you still love LV as much after venturing into Chanel? Absolutely, I do. I'm more, I guess you could say I'm a little bit more patient now with Louis Vuitton, seeing as how, you know, the whole waiting list thing goes with Chanel, and the scarcity of some of the items, and just having a great, as I said before, having a great sales associate really makes quite a wonderful experience at Louis Vuitton. And before, if I wanted something and I didn't get it, or if I put myself on a list, or, you know, I'm talking way back when, I think I definitely have a better appreciation for Louis Vuitton, especially for their customer service. Okay, Tara Harders, what are your thoughts on the Kensington bag? The Kensington bag is a tote is a tote. It's kind of like a Neverfull, and it has a V, a metallic V in the middle, and it's demi-a-ben, and it does have a crossbody strap, and it retails for $18.20 here in the States. The crossbody strap I'm not a fan of, especially when it's already a large tote. It doesn't really make sense to me, but I think the bag is extremely pleasing. I just like how simple it is. 2 handles, the Torin leather handles, and it's just a beautiful bag. Absolutely gorgeous. And the inside looks fantastic. It kind of reminds me of a GST, just a little bit taller, but it has that center divider, that center zip pocket. And I just like it. I like the simplicity of it. Okay. Rachel W., what are your thoughts on the leather line by Vera Bradley? I was actually checking it out recently, and they have a great price point. Vera Bradley obviously is known for the other, what is it? It's like a cloth type of bag that when it first came out, and it's nice. They have a different spin on their quilted bags, and they have some similar designs to other designers, but for the most part, the leather line is they have different silhouettes, so it's not something that I've seen out there too much. So I think they're good, especially, as I said before, for their price point. Okay, Laura Greenfield, is it okay to store my Epi Alma BB in the box since there's a lot more room, or leave it out for storage? I think that personally, I would always leave the bags out, especially because of the leather. You want the leather to be able to breathe. But it's all preference. If you rather leave it in the box, you can also do that. I currently have an SLG in a box because I don't have space for it, and it's okay. But you know, once in a while, I'll take it out and just let it breathe a little bit. But I think you'll be fine either way. But as I said before, I personally like to leave them out. So that's what I would like. I mean, that's what I do. But that is it, you guys. Those are all the questions. Oh, no, I don't. I'm sorry. I have one more. Susan Marie, will you please share some of your favorite Dean Koontz books? Oh, my goodness. There's so many out there. Mr. Murder, Intensity. You know what? I haven't read the Odd Thomas series. I'm not a fan of it. I don't want to have to keep reading, you know, the same series in different books. I know James Patterson does that. But what else? There's another one that I'm reading right now. What is it called? I can't remember. If I remember, I'll put them down below. But I like the older books. I think all of them are great. The Face. Oh my God, that's such a good book. What else? What else? There's so many of them. I can't even tell you how many of his books I've read. But as I said before, I'll make sure and put them all down below of a list of some really good ones to check out if you're wanting to check out Dean Koontz in general. But that is it, you guys. That is all I have. Thank you guys so much for all the wonderful questions. There's a few of them that I actually had to answer online, so please check them out if you did not hear your questions here. But I will see you guys later this week. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.